And now, the general weather around Alaska. Welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm National Weather Service meteorologist Peter Chan, bringing you this public and general outlook for Alaska weather on this Tuesday, August 1st, 2023. Looking across the state, we are seeing the heat that is going to be building across the interior as we head past the midweek into this weekend. Temperatures are going to be warming up into the 80s with even some 90s possible in some areas of the interior. There is going to be increasing fire danger with the warmer temperatures. There still will be the threat of some lightning strikes from isolated to scattered thunderstorms, and then there will be some noted smoke and haze from some of the local wildfires, as well as smoke that has been brought in from Canada as we sit beneath a building ridge of high pressure. Overall, the August outlook for this month: warm and drier in many locations of the state, especially centered on the mainland interior. And we still have a flood watch that continues through Thursday afternoon for Mendenhall Lake and River due to the Suicide Basin glacial lake ice dam there that could release. The National Weather Service office in Juneau continues to monitor the water levels there. Quick check of a few FAA webcams. In east central areas, the upper Yukon Valley, we have some building cumulus clouds as of early afternoon, 76 degrees on this Tuesday. Earlier this morning, there was a dense fog advisory at Seward there along the Kenai coastline. Some morning fog. Temperature as of early afternoon risen to 61. Here is the monthly temperature outlook for the state of Alaska for August. And there's a good chance that much of the state will see above normal temperatures, especially in the areas along the eastern half of the Alaska Range up through Fairbanks and Northway, Eagle, south to the Kenai Peninsula surrounding Prince William Sound and extending out there through the Panhandle. But even areas of the west should see temperatures average above normal for the month. Precipitation-wise, this is quite a change. We've had very wet conditions across the southwest all spring and early summer, and it's looking like this area may actually experience below normal precipitation for a change here as we go through the upcoming month. Well, as far as any watches, warnings, or advisories, we don't have any here in the interior. This area of grayish blue is just to indicate the building heat that will be occurring here across this region as we go through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Temperatures are going to be heating up, warming back up into the 80s with some 90-degree readings likely. And areas of South Central will also see warm temperatures, especially like Talkeetna, Glen Allen. Already has had temperatures well into the 70s and lower 80s. Off to the southeast, that is in the Juneau vicinity, that is that flood watch that remains in effect until through Thursday afternoon for Mendenhall Lake and River due to that glacier ice dam that's holding back some water. Whether or not it releases, that's a matter of time. But here, looking at fire danger, we had a lot of lightning strikes in the past week and a half, starting some fires. We've burned now over 41,000 acres across the state, which is an uptick in the last week and a half. So the grass component to fire danger is highest along the Yukon Flats, southeast side of the Brooks Range. Spruce, which is a big carrier of fire this time of year, is increasing here across the western Yukon Flats and up through the Tanana Valley on the north side of the Alaska Range. And so with these warming temperatures, drying conditions, and then you throw in the potential for an isolated or scattered thunderstorm with some lightning strikes, fire danger should be creeping upward here as we go through this week and into the weekend. As far as thunderstorm activity, on Wednesday, we expect the potential for some thunderstorms west arm here of the Alaska Range, eastern Alaska Range, Talkeetna Mountains, Wrangell, St. Elias Mountains, also far east end of the North Slope and Brooks Range, even the far northern end of the Panhandle. And then on Thursday, there is the potential for additional thunderstorms along and south of the Alaska Range, including, again, Copper River Basin on over toward the Talkeetna Mountains, and then on the other side of the Alaska Range from Lake Iliamna back over toward the lower Yukon Basin. So we're going to see temperatures warming, 70s with some 80s popping up here as we get into Thursday. Looking at the satellite imagery, We have a high pressure system centered here south of Kodiak Island. It's rather broad. And back behind me, we have a low pressure in front pushing across the western Aleutians into the western portion of the Bering Sea. This front, these couple of fronts are not going to make any progress really much further east than just off of the southwestern coast because of the ridge of high pressure that is in place over the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, and then the surface high pressure extends from just south of Kodiak Island now up into the southwest interior, and there's another high well off of the northern Arctic coast there up into the Arctic Ocean. And then we have these thermal troughs of low pressure that we often see in the summertime with the warmer temperatures, and along these boundaries it can serve as a focus for scattered showers and thunderstorms. Here's the area of low pressure out here pushing through the western Aleutians with a couple of fronts, and as that system works its way eastward, it'll have a tendency to weaken. By the time we get into late tonight, early on Wednesday morning, we have a 996 low out there in the western Bering. Still the ridge of high pressure from just southeast of Kodiak Island extending up across the southwest mainland. And this is what's going to serve to really allow the central and east central interior to warm here in the coming days. On Thursday, that low just kind of sits back out here toward the Bering with the front not making a whole lot of progress eastward. Still a couple of these thermal troughs extending from northwest Canada into the Alaskan mainland, where we have the best chance of some isolated scattered showers and thunderstorms to pop up along portions of the upper Tanana Valley, along the Alaska Range, and especially Copper River Basin and back toward, say, the west side of Cook Inlet along the eastward-facing side of the Alaska Range. And by the time we get into Thursday, still similar features in place with the best chance of some isolated scattered thunderstorms being across this area of south central and southeast Alaska, especially up through the interior. But otherwise, at the surface and aloft, high pressure is going to be in place across this region, allowing for temperatures to further warm as we go into the weekend. Lows Wednesday morning, generally mid-50s in the Panhandle, low mid-50s here across south central. Daytime highs 60s, but where you get some sun, 75 there at Skagway. We're going to see 80-degree temperatures, Glen Ellen and Talkeetna on Wednesday. Just lovely warmth if you're looking to enjoy summer weather and some sunshine. Bit cooler as you get south along the coast, 60s there. Lows Thursday morning, generally low mid-50s Panhandle, low mid-50s here across south central and again along the Gulf Coast. Temperatures Thursday afternoon will still be upper 70s to lower 80s here across portions of the Copper River Basin and up through the Susitna Valley, even 82 back there at McGrath. And then across central and northern parts of the state, lows, a lot of temperatures at or above 50. Certainly there could be a few pockets of cooler readings in some of the valleys in the 40s. The 40s are mainly confined to along the Arctic coast, western Seward Peninsula, areas surrounding St. Lawrence Island there. Temperatures, though, will start to creep back upwards into the at least lower to even some mid-80s, perhaps there at Eagle. Expect temperatures along the north slope, some 60s, 50s back toward the northwest coast, and generally 50s, say, from Teller and Wales down toward Savunga. And on Thursday morning, lows again, generally above 50 through the Yukon Valley, and generally in the 40s along the north slope, though 36 there at Utqiagvik. And we expect this area here as we go from Thursday now into the weekend, the heat to build across the area between the Alaska and the Brooks Range, with 80s becoming more commonplace and even some 90-degree readings showing up by the time we get, if not into Friday, certainly Saturday or Sunday. Southwest morning lows, low mid-50s for the Kuskokwim and lower Yukon Basin, upper 40s to near lower 50s, extending out the Alaska Peninsula along the southwest coast and the Aleutians. Still some temperatures get in the 70s. Once you get inland, Dillingham, King Salmon on up toward Anvik, Bethel, all the way northward. Look for increasing temperatures, 70s bumping into the 80s, but cooler as expected. 50s and a few isolated 60-degree readings trailing off there toward the eastern Aleutians. On Thursday morning, lows will generally be in the 50s, though. Could be 60-ish toward Anvik and areas further west, upper 40s to near 50 degrees in the Aleutians. And Thursday afternoon, we'll see temperatures in where there is sunshine, temperatures in the 70s to lower 80s for highs, cooler extending out along the Alaska Peninsula, upper 50s to lower 60s into the Aleutians. And here, looking ahead here for the next 6 to 10 days, August 7th through the 11th, look at where the greatest probability of above normal temperatures is smack dab over the central portion of the mainland. This area here will likely see temperatures in the 80s with some 90-degree readings certainly possible, cooler temperatures occurring out across the Aleutians. And precipitation-wise, we could see precipitation average a bit above normal, especially in areas surrounding Cook Inlet, the Kenai Peninsula, extending up through the western Alaska Range down across the Alaska Peninsula. And some of that moisture should be able to get up into the interior, which would lead toward some scattered showers and thunderstorms, which again could increase the fire danger threat due to lightning strikes, in addition to the warm and overall dry weather that will be in place here for the next week or so, if not 10 days across the central interior. So keep that in mind if you're going to be doing any outdoor recreating, especially camping where you're using fire. Fire danger should be increasing here across the interior in the week ahead.